RSL Nation, welcome back to the Bros.
Welcome back, everybody. It's good to be back.
We're back. We sound a little bit too excited for what happened this past weekend, but it's okay because I think we've given ourselves time.
Yeah, I definitely cried it all out as much as I could on Saturday night. I think I went through almost a whole box of Kleenexes and tissues, so
What? Really?
maybe more of that's because I'm kind of a little congested still. So
Though I do want to hear about all of that, but um, I guess you're feeling a little sick. But besides the sickness, all right, how are you doing?
yeah, so kind of dealing with a head cold. So it's that time of season. I hate sickness. I rarely ever do get sick. So this is the one of very few times. I blame you possibly for getting me sick.
Let's
Um,
let's just say we didn't practice real good social distancing when I happened to get sick last week, everyone. So, and then we saw each other Friday. It
Yeah,
was
he's
it,
he's
it
over here
was
sharing the love a
it
little too
was.
closely.
I mean, it was dad got well. Actually, my wife was sick last Sunday.
Mhm.
Then my dad got sick, and then I got sick. We saw each other on Friday. I was like in the middle of my sickness, and then lo and behold, here you are.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, just been, taking a lot of, juices, medicines, and I got my, humidifier going over here in the background, so, yeah, just gotta push along, get through this sickness.
Someone needs to get you some chicken noodle soup. We need to get mom on this.
I actually I did. Well,
But
mo
mom,
mom she didn't bring me chicken noodle soup, but I found some in my pantry. I had that today.
I was gonna say, mom got you chicken noodle soup. Lucky dog.
No, nope, she didn't come in that clutch, nope.
That'd have been great.
But
Um,
how are you doing?
I'm not sick, so
Oh,
better than you are.
yeah.
But um, I'm doing all right. Actually, I'm actually feeling kind of empty in the sense that this has been one of my most involved seasons with RSL, and now I feel really empty. But I mean, I've been really involved in other seasons because I really love soccer. But
Mhm.
this one was like season ended, and I'm like, there's no game for me to watch
Yeah,
that weekend.
I've been literally well, obviously we have the international window that's coming up this weekend, but I'm like, what's next? What do I watch now? I'm like, in this like three-month window span of no MLS, it's like waiting, twiddling my thumbs
It's I have a meme or video in my head of the guy standing
on the
alone
on the swing
on the
on sit.
swing, standing in the park, sitting on the bench.
Yep, the
That's
RSL bros waiting for MLS season just to kick it off again.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
But the MLS season still is going on, just without RSL.
yeah. So don't don't forget MLS playoffs are still happening. You have like 3 weeks left. So it goes until December 9th, has a week off because of the international window, and then it goes back to the conference semifinals the day after Black Friday.
That's still a long ways away.
Yeah, right? Right?
But let's dive into this. So what we're gonna because we don't have a game. Normally, this is our first episode without a game to that we're anticipating. So this is gonna be kind of a new territory that we're discovering. And so we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna talk a little bit about the game, just a little bit, just to get our feelings out.
Hmm.
Um, we're gonna talk about the other games that went on, or maybe vice versa, whatever order it comes in. Um, and then we're gonna get into there was a lot of player interviews the past 2 days at
There
RSL.
was. And if I wasn't sick and if I wasn't under the weather, I totally would have been there. I'm so unhappy that I wasn't there, but we got a lot of good videos from other people that were there, so we'll break those down for you guys.
Absolutely. And then we're gonna give out our own team awards. I mean, you guys probably have well, RSL
Mm.
probably has their team awards. You guys have your own thoughts. We're gonna give you our thoughts on a couple of categories.
Absolutely.
And I can't remember. Did you have anything else on the list?
No, we just have we had a 3 game threes that we gotta break down. We got a bracket challenge.
Oh yeah, we got to do that too. So let's get this underway. There were two other game threes that we just want to mention.
Absolutely. Let's so we had Seattle and Dallas that you and we were watching that on Friday as you probably got me sick that night. We had more fun laughing at whatever we were laughing at and eating pizza than actually watching that game because that game was the most boring game out of all the MLS games so far in this playoffs.
That night ended up being me having cough fits because I was laughing so hard
Yeah.
at the dumb memes and videos that Dad was sharing with me, and then you were on the couch doing something else, and then Dad would show you, you would laugh, we'd all just start laughing. What was I? There was one video that we just couldn't stop laughing about. Do you remember?
It's not coming to my mind, but
All right, Dad, if you're listening to this, let us know.
no, but that game was kind of boring. Rusnak gets a goal in the first half, and that's all they needed to punch their ticket to the conference semifinals, unfortunately. So Dallas, you're out of here.
Well, that game sucked for Dallas only because they didn't have Jesus Ferreira.
Yeah, no Jesus to save them in that game.
Nope. Jesus, another Jesus came into the second half.
Yeah, that's true. They got backup Jesus.
That one didn't save.
Nope. So then we jump over to the other game on the Eastern Conference. We got Columbus and Atlanta, and I was really hoping for Atlanta just because I want to see Almada win another trophy because he won one last year with Argentina, but it comes to a halting stop for Atlanta, losing 4-2 in Columbus. And Almada didn't even have he didn't have an assist. It was just all Brooks Lennon for the two assists for Atlanta in this one.
Yeah, I mean it. I can only imagine it's hard for Almada, not being surrounded by the best players to play with. I mean, look at the four people surrounding him. You there was I can't even pronounce like two of their names. Lob Hanids Hanidzes. Whatever. Can
You
you
know,
pronounce that?
he's from Georgia, so that's a tough name to pronounce. I don't know.
Perfect.
And
Fortune.
Yakamakis is a solid striker up top.
Right, that's the one I'm not mentioning. So he had Fortune, Muyumba, and Silva as the other three. So those four, you're like, first off, haven't heard of them ever.
Yeah,
Second off, their country, well, their fought mob scores were absolutely hideous, and so there wasn't
like
support for Almada.
yeah. So there obviously there have been rumors that Almada might be going to Napoli or other places. I really believe that this might be the offseason that Almada packing his bags, going Europe or somewhere else.
Um, other places, other destinations that have been rumored have been to the Netherlands, to either an Ajax or an Eder Hausenhoven, whatever.
Yeah, especially at the age of 22, he's still young. He has a World Cup behind him, so let the man get more experience, playing in Europe with bigger talent.
Yeah, the fear is that he'd be sitting the bench if he goes off to Europe. So,
Possibly.
but anyways, Columbus Crew move on, and
Yeah,
that
they were.
is the end of that.
Yeah, so you got Columbus, Orlando, and then Philly and Cincy, and then in the West unfortunately, you got Houston, KC, and then LA, Seattle. So
Yeah, let's first talk about real quick about those matchups. Just give me your opinion, your thoughts on each of those matchups, and then we'll get into this bracket challenge standings. See where everyone stands. Because if you're still listening at this point, you're probably wondering where do I stand? Well, log on, figure it out. But we'll tell you the top couple of people.
Where I stand, the teams in the West, my least favorite teams in the West, like you and I talked about it. I would have been happy with like a San Jose, even a Colorado to making this Western Conference semifinal, but not an LAFC, not a KC. Our two least liked teams in the West.
Uh, Top four least like. Are you kidding me? All four of them RSL fans don't like. I mean,
Yeah,
give me any other Western Conference team. I mean, Colorado, they're our rival, quote unquote. Um, I'd be fine playing with them against them. Minnesota, I'm fine with. San
oh yeah,
Jose, I'm fine with. Name me another one. I can't remember.
Vancouver.
Vancouver, thank you. Um, yeah, I think those are the only ones. but having Houston, KC, Seattle, and LAFC, bro, that's all four that we hate.
Oh yeah, looking at who I want to go to the MLS Cup out of these four teams, I'm like, neither. Like I don't want any of them.
No, but you have to choose one. And
um,
no, you already chose one in your bracket. Who
yeah,
was it?
in my bracket, I have it's Seattle Columbus in my MLS Cup final. But if I were to change that, realistically, I'm feeling Houston, honestly.
Yeah, you got weird feelers because I don't feel it. But
Um, but the matchup I'm looking forward to overall, I'm excited about that Cincinnati Philadelphia game because obviously we know Cincinnati just won Supporter Shield. They're a very strong team in Barriel, um, and Lucia Acosta, and we have Philadelphia who just got they've gone pretty far in the MLS Cup the past several years. So with Gazdag and Bedoya, that is a very very good matchup in both those teams.
I wouldn't just say very good matchup. I would say this is actually borderline rivalry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is going to be a very heated match. I mean, should we even talk about the playoff format? Let's wait to talk about the playoff format. But because this is just one game,
Yeah.
this is going to be like intense. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited for that Philly.
Unlike the first round, if it's tied, no, if it's tied, it goes into extra time. I was just, yeah,
Okay, I trust you.
yeah, because it's only one game.
Yeah, got you. Um, so yeah, that one I'm excited about. Because we're talking about supporter shield team, um, really hot. Philly is always a fighting team, so
Hmm.
good matchup there.
Yeah.
The other side of the bracket though, I think might be a little more of a blowout. Orlando Columbus.
Orlando was kind of a surprising team. Yes, they did play against Nashville, who Nashville didn't show up at all in these playoffs. We talked about it last episode. Surprising that they didn't score a single goal in these playoffs, but don't don't count out Orlando quite yet.
I'm already counting them out. I mean, bro, if Nashville didn't show up to the playoffs and Orlando only beat them 1-0 both games, I
But
mean,
Orlando has the home field advantage, though.
blah. I mean, Orlando's home crowd is like Houston's home crowd.
I'm
Like
looking
no
at
like like no one shows up.
Orlando at home this season. They are seventh in the East. Um, Columbus away, they are fifth in the East. So pretty similar.
All I'm saying is that Orlando is I think Orlando's dropping points here.
Yeah, possibly.
Houston Casey,
I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Don't like it.
we're gonna talk about it again next week, so you might as well just give something right now.
Um, I like Houston ever since they've turned the switch from the League's Cup. It was League's Cup into Open Cup. They've just looked like a completely dangerous team. And then we have KC with Alan Polito and Johnny Russell. So you have two good teams with good attacking players. So and Houston has the home field advantage, but we saw when they played RSL, they can't fill a stadium at all. I think they have the lowest attendance in this playoff so far. So
It,
it's
it was
gonna be
pretty close to the lowest. I think there's
yeah.
still one more team.
Well, probably New York Red Bulls, but
Yeah, either New York or New England.
yeah, but I think it might be possibly more KC fans in that stadium. So
This will be the battle of barbecue. We should call it the barbecue battle.
the barbecue battle, I like it. I like it. Winner just gets a whole
A,
pig,
a basket of barbecue.
a basket of barbecue, and some homemade barbecue sauce. I like it. I like it.
There we go. You're welcome, Houston and KC fans.
That would
Uh,
be the best trophy.
so then, I guess I'll get my quick opinion. Houston. There, that was a really quick opinion. Um, and it's all because of the same reasons you just said. Period. I mean, even though I don't like Baird as an on-field player, don't we're not talking about off the field. I don't. This is an on the field conversation right now. I
Yeah.
don't like Baird. I don't like Bossy. I don't like Dorsey. I don't like Ache Ache. I don't like them. I don't. Oh, I don't like their keeper either.
Um.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's a forgettable name.
Exactly.
So there. Even though as much as I hate them, they're gonna win.
Steve Clark, by the way.
Oh, Steve Clark. Okay,
No, and also Ben Olsen. Ben Olsen is kind of one of those like he's still a coach, but he's a good scrappy coach who he's won an Open Cup. He's won 2 Open Cups as a head coach.
he can thank us for the one Open Cup.
That's true. Well, I guess
Yeah.
2 because he beat us in the
He
semifinals this year
he didn't win that Open Cup. We gave it to him
on a platter.
on a platter. Okay, Seattle and LAFC.
Oh man, this one I'm kind of tossed. Obviously, in my bracket, I have Seattle for this one, but I'm feeling more LAFC just because Seattle kind of scrapped their way against Dallas in this game 3 without Jesus, and they were playing at home too. So I'm like kind of questioning like, is Seattle that good of a team? So I think LAFC is just going to drop the hammer in this one. But mind you, they're playing this one in Seattle.
Come on, Seattle.
And LAFC has not been the greatest of teams when playing on turf, by the way. So something to keep an eye on.
Fight and
And
win.
win.
Oh my gosh. Let's do this playoff bracket. Just so you know, have you looked at it lately? The standings?
Um, for the bracket challenge.
Mm.
Last time I checked, I think you and I are still in last place.
We're not in last place
Oh, we're
anymore.
not in last place anymore?
No, last place is sitting at 90 points,
Ooh.
which is technically fifth place because, yeah, fifth place.
Okay.
Me, you, and Sarah are sitting in fourth place
Okay.
with 120 points. All three of us are tied.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So if we're in fourth place, that means there are still about roughly more than 15 people above us. Um, there are two people tied for first.
But I'm guessing no perfect brackets.
I didn't even check to see if their brackets were perfect, but here we go. Nope, not a perfect bracket. Neither are perfect brackets. Why?
Okay.
Because of
They
KC.
pick yeah, I was gonna say RSL.
They did pick. Did they pick? Oh, they didn't pick RSL to move on. I didn't. Oh no, they didn't pick RSL to move on.
Okay. So we had one smart person out of everybody.
No, two. So there's two. So we have a Mike T. Mike T, if you're listening, nice job.
You're winning right
And
now.
and Jaden S.
Jaden, if you're listening, you're I think second. You're tied for first place.
Tied for first place with 210 points. Um,
Ooh.
and both of them have the same outcome coming out of the Houston side. They both have Houston moving on to the conference final. So
Okay.
and
That's
that
something. Keep an eye
yeah.
on there for that one. What about for the East? Who do they have in the East
Well, they're all perfect, but going to the conference final, it's Cincy Columbus.
for both sides?
This is I'm looking at Jaden's Cincy Columbus, and Mike's is Cincy Columbus. Literally the only difference, I think. Oh yeah, they have the same Final Four. So their Mike's final is Cincy Houston, and Jaden's final is Seattle Cincy.
Ooh, man. It's gonna come down to that final. I guess it's gonna come down between Seattle and LAFC because if LAFC wins, then their bracket's done for.
Let's see. Well, both have Houston, Seattle in that conference final. Both of them have them as champions. One has Houston, one has Seattle as the champion.
Mm, mm.
So,
We
mm?
can only have one winner. I'm not giving out 2 shirts. Sorry.
the tie wasn't there like a tiebreaker of how many goals?
Well, we can do goals, and if you're tied on goals, then we'll do like an arm
Well,
wrestle
well, I
next.
think I think I think the bracket challenge automatically does it for you.
Oh, okay, I don't have to do it for them.
We'll check. December 9th, once we have a winner, we'll figure it out. If there is an actual tie, we'll do a sudden death, like
You have to go wrestle it outside.
yeah, like some kind of sword fight or something. um, cool. Make sure you guys keep track of this because this is gonna get fun. Only because someone's gonna win a shirt, not because RSL's still in it.
Yeah.
Unless you like really watching a lot of soccer, then yeah. I mean, we're gonna keep watching.
I was like, who doesn't like watching a lot of soccer? Like,
There's some soccer fans that don't like watching a lot of soccer. Like, example, Dad. Dad doesn't
it's
like watching a lot of soccer.
it's sad but true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
Yeah, cool. So let's get into these player interviews. There were a lot of, I mean, not a lot. I mean, I'm gonna rephrase all of this. There were a lot of players to interview. In fact, the whole roster.
I hope so. I hope every player got to interview.
Even the GM got interviewed.
That's usually how it goes for player interviews.
I'm just saying. I have to explain it. So I need you to give me a couple of your thoughts out of a couple of them. We're not gonna go through all of them.
Yeah.
We're not those people.
Yeah, we're not going through all 20 plus players. No, we're not doing that.
No, just your opinions and a couple of things that stood out to you. I think we have something in common on a couple of them, and we'll dive deeper into those.
Yeah, so I guess let's jump in right into the most important one of all from the player interviews. It was the Musovsky one. Um, so for those of you who have not watched it, head over to Caleb's page on Twitter or X, where he literally just asked Caleb asked Musovsky right straight to the point, why were you out for the past 2 months? What happened? All these things, and it just got me just scratching my head. I'm like, he,
It definitely RSL Nation is slightly divided.
yeah,
There's differing opinions.
agreed, and I'm to the fact like if you're out 2 months, you don't deserve a spot to come back on for the team, and especially coming in to be taking of the fifth penalty for the game on Saturday in Houston.
This was a rough one for me. In a summary, for those that haven't gone, it was it ended up being like this Reader's Digest version. It was I was told I was going to get more. I didn't get more. I got upset. I sat out because I wanted to show them that I deserved more. That made them more mad. I then came back because I wanted to come back for the team, but there were still unresolved issues. Um, then basically I wasn't able to get back on good terms, and right now we're not on good terms.
Yeah, and it just sounds by the sounds of it that maybe possibly they kind of have finalized the deal. I don't know for sure or not, but I wouldn't be happy about that.
So
It just doesn't seem like that's the solution that RSL needs because we already have the answer in Chicho. We saw that. And now all of a sudden Luna is like he flipped the switch with the last 5 games, scoring in about the last 5 games. So yes, Musovsky I think contributed about 6 goals or however many assists, but I don't know if he can still continue that next season.
I don't know about continuing it next season. I think I mean there's some comments roaming around is that Arsenal doesn't want to get burned again like they did with the Rubio deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Which man, we're suffering because of that.
Yeah.
Um, but and I can understand why they're holding out, but at the same time, you have to understand Moose's side is like RSL gave their word of some kind of promise that hasn't been made known like super public.
Hmm.
Besides the fact, besides saying they promised me extra things,
Hmm.
um, and I think that would have been great if his what's his bucket GM. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on people's names today?
Elliot.
Elliot, thank you. If Elliot would have like gotten into detail, but Elliot was asked a question about Danny, and he says that a lot of these things are internal conversations. You guys will not know about these. And so
I'm not like yes, I understand like some of it's like closed doors, privacy. They want to keep it within the team, but if you need to tell the media, tell the fans this stuff so we can know what is happening behind the scenes, so we're not just like scratch our head being confused all the time.
yeah, um, Danny gave me vibes, and everyone, don't take this like I think he's like the greatest player on this earth or a really great player either. But gave me Cristiano Ronaldo vibes. Like
Absolutely.
I am better than I'm gonna say it how it is. I'm better than you. I deserve more, and you better treat me better. It's
I don't
like,
know.
whoa,
I don't know if it's the fact that he played in LAFC. He has an MLS Cup ring on his title. He played with Chicho in LAFC. I don't know if it's any of that that he just treats himself higher than everybody else. But
I don't think that's the case. Oh, I the only reason I think that's not the case is that because he was benched most of the season for LAFC anyway, so he barely saw any minutes. And he was saying that this was his best season of his career.
yeah,
And to say that and having been benched like half the season, um, just kind of tells you, well, bro,
it wasn't until about the Open Cup in Vegas, I believe, that's when he started getting starting minutes.
yeah, it was around. I was gonna say around May when he started getting more minutes.
Yeah.
But that lasted until mid August. So you're
Hmm.
looking at 3 months that lasted. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, you played 3 months out of the six. And on top of that, not, not only and I think this is where a lot of people and I'm in the camp of like I really don't like the attitude of this kid, but he
Hmm.
left the team hanging, even though he has to worry about himself. He has to.
Yeah.
But he left his team hanging in critical moments this season. Um, Games where if we had him, he could have flipped the results. We had two or three results in September where we tied or lost,
Oh yeah.
and that could have helped us get higher up in the standings. We would have been able to play a different opponent in the playoffs. Who
Home,
knows what we
home
would have
field.
home field? Who knows what would have happened at this point?
Hmm.
Yes, we're here now,
Yeah.
but we also can't forget what he did to us. We can't. Because those had consequences, and right now we're living that consequence, and we're out of the playoffs.
So if you're Elliot and the whole staff, do you resign? Do you just think about it, or do you just maybe have him for one more season and just think about this overall move? What are your thoughts?
Um, Without me being a business salary guy, I would be, look, I'm going to give you a cost of living raise. I might give you just a little bit more because of your performance, but
Yeah,
I'm not going to give you above 150. I can't. Because of what you did to this team, you're worth 150 to me because you are a liability. Because I know now you're going to throw a tantrum if things don't go your way.
because
Um,
I'm more scared that yes, we give him that six figure that he's asking for, but he's just gonna maybe just be treated like, oh sweet, you guys paid me. I don't have to do much anymore.
Give him the six figure, but give him a low six figure. That's why I said give him 150.
Yeah.
200 at the most.
Hmm.
Like that's being super generous. 150, cool. Keep him for a year, maybe two. But he's not going to accept that. He wants up to the 4 or 500s because he thinks he's that.
Yeah, if I was RSL, I would just sign up for a 1 year that, and if things don't get better by like summertime, then dump him. Just send him somewhere else. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. That Danny situation is really sticky.
It's yeah,
Yeah, and I understand everyone has their opinions. This is you probably don't agree with us. We come from different points of view, but hey, it's all right. I mean, at this rate, it doesn't look like Danny's gonna be playing much next season anyway. So, um, I don't know, I don't know. But oh, and because also he also said it doesn't look like the RSL want me back. That was like a huge hit. I was like,
yeah. Like, that's something you especially you don't say in a post game. I don't know.
yeah, in a postseason, yeah. But whatever. Um, Other interviews that struck you. Did you have any others?
No other ones that are coming to mind that really were like eye catching that stood out. I think it was mostly that Musovsky one that stood out to me.
I think that's the one that stood out to everyone. But there were a couple here and there that I can't remember details of what they said, but um, there's a lot of improvements that we need to make,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of I hope we hope that this team stays together next season because there is a good vibe in the locker room and we have a lot of support.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think I remember one of those came from Justin Glad talking about how the defense does need to improve. There was a lot of mistakes in the back line. He referring to himself and then other people. So I like that he took ownership and that they're recognizing those mistakes in that back line for the defense.
yeah. Another one that stood out to me was Vera. Vera had mentioned that when he was signed, he's a left back. He says, I am a trained left back. When I
So
came on,
he's had to work his way in going switching into center back.
yeah, he said in his Spanish, he says the Mister coach, the Mister changed me to be a center back. And
Hmm,
so I've had
interesting.
to change my game and adapt. And it's been a long season of learning, but I am now able to play. I feel comfortable at center back, but I also can play left back. Now, from a fan point of view, what are your thoughts?
I'm just more surprised that his team prior to RSL never saw him as a center back. Like the dude is huge.
Um,
But
let's just say Colombian defenders are huge.
yeah, that's true. We saw how big Olave was when he was here. So
Yeah.
no, but that makes me happy to know that we have a defender that can transition from center back to left back is awesome. As well as he can be our set piece taker. So he's a dual threat.
He also mentioned that as well, being more involved in set pieces and being more involved in taking shots from outside. He's he's learned that new ability about himself. So there's a lot of learning for Vera, and we all knew that he played left back coming in.
Yeah, yeah.
What I don't think everyone understood was how unfamiliar he was with the center back position.
Hmm.
Even though FotMob gave us a little indication of he's mostly left back, oh, but he can't play a little center back. No, he was like
Nope.
center back's not my thing, but um, I prefer him as a center back.
Yeah, yeah. With his size, his built, it just works better with Vera and Glad in our back line overall.
It still would have been bomb to have Glad Silva Vera. That would have been bomb.
It's not too late. I There is not too late. We possibly next season.
Well, we'll see. Marcelo, speaking of Marcelo, he did have a couple of questions. Wasn't like too entertaining in terms of content, but he did say he was kind of excited to have Luis Suarez coming to the league.
Well, first off, we have to hope and cross our fingers that we do get to play Miami because RSL, as you know, is one of the very few teams that have never played Miami. So
Bro, I would love to see RSL play against Inter Barcelona.
that would be a dream come true, whether it's here or whether it's in Miami.
Yeah, it's got to happen. But um I'm trying to think of I remember Gomez was talking about his improvement. He said he was disappointed in himself at the beginning of the season, but as the season grew, he started getting a lot of support from coach in terms of trying to get things ramped up. And he's ready to put in the work to do better next season. He understands that this was a season of getting used to a lot of things. He didn't do it as fast as he hoped, and he's hoping to get a lot more goals scored next season.
That's awesome. I I like when players like that know where the places they can improve and they're already getting ready. Their mind's getting ready for next season. I like that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of them are. There are like all of them are saying 2024, 2024. I mean, what else can they really say? But
Yeah,
you can tell that
for
there's
sure.
a certain a fire and an excitement because what Elliot Fall said was there's going to be a lot less transactions this offseason.
I'm more excited for because we got Chicho in the middle of this summer. We're gonna get a full season with Chicho this upcoming year, so that makes it we're gonna come out guns a blazing
Well, how about this? You're gonna have a whole season of Chicho, a whole season of Pablo, season of
of Luna.
Palacio and Luna. I mean, having those players that were like halfway through the season, all of a sudden started shining and whatnot, having them, I mean, they had this half a season together, off season, and then all next season, barring any injuries, which we're hoping no injuries.
Hmm.
we're looking at a very talented core next year.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited because it's just gonna get better from here. We have such a young, talented team. The sky's the limit. Sky is the limit with this team.
Now the question is, there's a and I haven't seen this a lot, but I know there's a lot of people throwing this out there, especially the haters. But is Pablo the right guy to move forward? One, it doesn't really matter. He's gonna be there, but a lot of people are worried that Pablo's gonna ruin the scheme of things by throwing out random lineup changes and whatnot. Because
We saw
he,
that a lot at the beginning of the season.
here's my mindset. Going back to the PKs from Saturday, the
Yeah.
only reason the reason why he changed up the PKs was because he wanted to throw off the cadence of the keeper. He wanted to throw off the groove of the keeper.
And also he said that he in training going up to this game, Musovski looked a lot better in training than Krylak. So
I mean, with those kind of thoughts, I do get worried that he wants to change things too much, and it throws off the jive if players are jiving.
mhm.
And it's what I mean. How many times did I mention this during the season? It's like, keep the same lineup. If it's working, don't change it.
Yeah, like you never saw that with Jason Kreis when he was here. He
I
never
mean,
did at all.
you can name our starting 11. Actually, should we try? Should we try? Ramondo, Borchers Olave,
Be-
Beltran, Wingert.
Finley, Javi,
Wait,
Grabavoy,
like do the midfield. Don't go everywhere. You had
Be-
Grabavoy, Beckerman, Javi,
Johnson,
Johnson,
Finley.
Finley, and Sabo.
Yeah.
You mean that was consistent?
Whereas now you can't do that at all because it's changing every single game and it's frustrating.
Yeah, and that's I've had so many talks either on here or with other people that identity is so important. When you
Hmm.
have an identity, it's really hard to knock a team off.
Yeah,
And
you look at the U.S. men's national team. They don't have an identity because they're changing their lineup all the time because they play Trinidad and Tobago tomorrow. Who knows? They're gonna probably come out with some weird, funky lineup that they haven't seen, or maybe the same team. But when we have a team like Argentina, it's consistent all the time.
you know who's going to start. Yeah,
Hmm.
and even if there are some lineup changes, you know that it's one for one. You know, it's
Hmm.
either this person or this person. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
like a random third or fourth person, or they're going to change the formation because they ran out of people. It's like, no, we know what the lineup is. So that's why identity is so important.
Hmm.
I think I this is where me and Pablo might have a discussion, maybe an argument. I think identity is more important than mentality.
Why do you say that?
Um, Identity is the base. If you know who you are and how you play,
Hmm.
mentality comes with that. You become confident in what you're doing. But if you don't have an identity, that means it's literally all willpower. It's all willpower. And that's where I think a lot of us who have seen Pablo play throughout his whole career with Colorado, with the US men's national team, that's how he played. He had a lot of tenacity, and it
It's
was
true.
just run straight into a brick wall and just keep working. That for me, that's
That's not that's not the way it should be. No, not at all.
if you have an identity, if you know how you play, if you know who you are, then that builds confidence. And when you're confident, then the mentality comes into play.
I liked Pablo when we were like on that little bit of a stretch prior to Pablo Ruiz getting injured in Leagues Cup, but now with us out of the playoffs, the way it is two years in a row out of the playoffs, I think I'm kind of Pablo out now. So
I'm not Pablo out. I just need him to dig a little bit deeper into the soccer IQ books.
what I
And
want to see RSL do is maybe get a coach outside the US, South American coach from Europe, because we see how well Javi is doing with Inter Miami with Tata Martino, and he's doing excellent. Like those guys are gelling so well. So maybe something like that. like reel in Javi, come back to RSL.
That'd be nice. But I think we're fine with Pablo for right now. But you could see it in games that mattered. We don't have an identity.
It's true.
The Houston games were literally all off will. It wasn't. We didn't have a base identity. And when, but I mean, can you tell me what Great Jason Christ's base identity was? What was his formation tactic?
It was just that always that diamond.
It was the 4-4-2 diamond.
Yeah,
And what comes with the 4-4-2 diamond that we had?
it's that defensive mid that always comes back and
It
just
it was possession.
that's true.
We
Yeah, that
we
the
we played possession.
that ticky tacky.
So when we played tiki taka, it's that's how we played. That's what we were
Hmm.
known for. Right now, we're not known for anything.
We're known for going on the sides and just crossing it in.
Down the wings and cross. Down the wings and cross.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a nice dance. Down the wings and cross. So wow, that was a lot. Sorry guys. That was just me going on a me thinking I think I'm a coach sometimes, but I'm really not. But um either way, the feel across the team is very positive. Even Luna got in with the positivity. In fact, he even threw out there that he doesn't care that other teams are after him. His focus next season is RSL. So that also lets me understand that he's been contacted, or at least his agent has been contacted by other teams, which it's obvious. I mean, the dude's doing really well right now. It's gonna be normal.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see the likes of Luna and Sava gone maybe halfway through the season because they deserve it. Because for a young talent like Luna at the age of 20 years old, if you're scoring in 5 games in a row, you're gonna get looked at from teams from Europe or from wherever.
It's true. It's true. So, well, we shouldn't be surprised if maybe he leaves during the summer if there's a good enough deal. But
Yeah,
I don't want to think about that. Um, but you did mention Sava. Sava is away on international duty again,
along with Oviedo.
along with Oviedo, which this is it would have been nice if we were still playing because only two players got called up,
It's true. It's true. Lambert didn't get called up, and Ojeda.
and Ojeda and Rubin.
Well, Guatemala's knocked out.
Well, they played I think that Friday or Saturday, the same day that or we're still within playoffs, so I think they got knocked out
Mm,
or no, it was a friendly. It was a friendly. But
friendly.
either way, they have well, Saba has South American qualifiers. He plays against Ecuador. What is it? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Thursday.
Tomorrow, Thursday. Today, if you're listening today. I always have to. I
And
get
then Lambert plays in the Nations Leagues on Friday.
Lambert. I thought you said he wasn't called up.
Oh, not Lambert. I meant Oviedo.
We are getting so confused.
Oviedo for Costa Rica plays Friday
That's
against
true.
Panama.
Yes. And our favorite team.
I'm putting in my background like it's your background.
It's my background. Argentina play against Uruguay at uh, at 5. So that's good. This is gonna be an interesting stretch for Argentina because it's Uruguay and Brazil.
That's the nice little gauntlet of games coming up.
Yeah. So um, there's still soccer to watch. Still soccer, but um, I want to go back to something that I totally skipped over at the very beginning. And you're probably thinking, I'm glad you're coming back to this because I forgot too. Um, yeah, yes, we didn't talk about the RSL game because, well, everyone already knows what happened to our RSL game, and we
I
already
was
gave.
I was crying. That's what happened.
Well, that's what I want to get into. So, one, I want to. You went to the airport.
I did go to
Um,
the airport.
that just give me just a couple of thoughts. Airport run. What was the vibe when you saw the players?
Yeah, so Friday, day before the huge game on Saturday, we had just a couple of us, about 10 of us, that showed up to the airport right there. We all had our flags and our scarves and just chanting and cheering loud for the boys, and they loved it. Like they loved every minute of us just showing up and just giving them good lucks and good vibes. And took a picture with Moose and Luna and Krylock, and just hoping them for the best for the day before.
Excellent. And well, I think I have a couple of comments on I think supporter culture afterwards. But then Saturday there was a couple of watch parties.
There was
There was
so.
beer bar had theirs,
Uh-huh.
but then you went to Kaye.
Went to Kaye. For those of you who have not gone out to Kaye, head to Kaye. It's fun environment, fun atmosphere there. They have the indoor street court there. And also, I was there Friday. I'm doing a plug. Sugar House Kaye just opened up their new court in Sugar House, their new street court. So head over there if you haven't seen that. It's really cool. But yeah, Saturday I was at the watch party at Kaye because best place to have a watch party. We have 3 TVs, and over there by the court where they have their street court inside, they put up a sheet. So, kinda little
So
watch party.
so it was like on the huge screen.
Yeah, huge sheet for, those who wanted to watch it there. 3 TVs over there by the entrance, and they had the FIFA for those who wanted to play FIFA, and then we had Leo the Lion there, people playing some street soccer, so it was a good vibe. People We had La Barra there, we had Riot Brigade there, we had Salt City there, we had Los Caballeros Reales. So we had all the supporters groups there. We had trumpets there, we had drums. It was loud. It was loud. I was standing on tables, in chairs. Um, so it's like it was just a loud, fun, passionate environment inside there. What more can you ask for?
I mean, bringing all those supporter groups and having that many people, it must have made you feel a little bit different than the rest of the season where we go to the stadium and yeah, me and you get excited for games. We get
Yeah, yeah,
nervous, but
for
but
sure.
but you being there with other people that are like huge fans, how did that make you feel? Were you just like just ready to jump out of your skin?
Oh, 100%. So before I get to that, so Beer Bar actually got to capacity. They got full, so they were telling people at Beer Bar to head over to Kaye. So Kaye got to the point where we couldn't even move our shoulders. It was that packed. It was standing room only. People are could barely even see the 3 TVs out in the far distance, but I just loved everybody's passion, everybody's enthusiasm because everybody was cheering, everybody was doing the chants. Even if they didn't know the ones in Spanish, they were still trying their hardest and just going all out because they knew right as RSL tied that game up by Luna late in the second half, it just got electric. The literally felt like the roof on Kai was just going to collapse because it was just so loud and so passionate inside there.
That's so awesome. I'm super jealous. What was everyone's mood after losing to the PKs? I mean, that PK was blocked.
Hmm.
When blocked off the post. Um, what was what was everyone's reaction? What Give me everyone else's reaction and then give me your reaction.
Yeah, everybody was confused first and foremost because they knew obviously we still had Ojeda and Palacio that hadn't taken PKs, and we see Musovski walking up, and everybody was just talking in really loud. They're like, "What's going on? Why is Moose going?" And all these things, and then he goes to take it and just drills the post, and that's when we knew season done over. Ah, yeah, I was feeling the same way. I was just so confused because in my mind, your 5th penalty taker is your most important. That's why we saw Luna take it on Monday, and I didn't understand why we don't do the same thing, but maybe have Ojeda, maybe have Palacio take that 5th one because they've been crucial for us in our midfield, but not somebody like Musovski who's been out 2 months. And right as I see him drill the post and it doesn't go in, I'm just sitting there, head down, just crying because I'm like, back to back years getting knocked out in the playoffs by PKs. It's not the way you want to end a season whatsoever.
So I understand. Well, you sent me a voice message. I think you're on your way out. You sent me a message and you were choking up in the message, which I'll tell you when I first heard it, I didn't hear it for like 3 or 4 hours afterwards. So I apologize. Um, that it made me happy because that means that you're passionate about this team. I mean, this team like gets you fired up.
Oh yeah, like obviously Alan and I have been with RSL since the Ricycle days, since Brian Dunseth planted the flag in the corner. So my blood literally bleeds claret and cobalt. So I think this is the first season that I have felt this much love and passion for RSL because yes, last season we lost in penalties as well, but it was just the way that we fought so hard in these playoffs. When Chicho came on in game two here at home, we saw that just change of balance and just possession. And same in this game. When we saw Chicho come on in game three, it was just a whole nother level. So that's just my that's where my sadness mainly comes from.
Was there anyone else that was emotional as you were?
Yeah, there was a definitely a few other people, a couple of people in Labada, a couple of people in Riot Brigade that were kind of teary eyed because they didn't want the season to be over. People really wanted so badly to be hosting Kansas City because, as you know, Kansas City is one of our biggest rivals, and that would have been such a good matchup.
Can you imagine what the riot would have been against SKC?
Yeah, because you saw how packed it was game two here. It would have been a whole nother level if we had a conference semifinal here, but
Yeah.
we just have to hope and wish.
So it brings me to this point about supporter culture. I understand we have lives. Everyone has things going on in their lives,
For sure.
but being identified with a team and having that team be your team, I think RSL as a community, we have a lot to improve on in terms of being fans. There's a lot of people saying, "Yeah, I'm a fan of RSL. I like going to RSL games, or I like soccer, and RSL is my team because, well, I live here."
Yeah,
I think we there we're still young. We're a young club, and
for sure.
we still have decades to go. But we've got to figure out a reason, or not a reason, a way to dig this culture deep into the community.
And I think we're slowly starting to get that. We had obviously a couple months back, we had Los Caballeros Reales. Thank you for Keaton and Justin, two great guys, and they started that fan base themselves, and they're slowly starting to get other fan bases and other people involved. And it just starts with that, just getting people involved, getting people to know about what RSL is all about, and just inviting them to games.
I mean, we see the fan culture. We're gonna give the example of Utah football because me and you we know Utah football,
Mhm.
but there are so many people that tailgate, so many people that group up. There's so many sections that have their own cultures and their own stuff. Um, we need to have a lot more of that at RSL. I think we need to have a lot more people this super passionate. And if you're super passionate at your house watching these games, that's great. Um, we we just want more people to be this super passionate. And maybe this is the boring part of the episode, but I just want you guys to feel that we've been here since 2005. We've been involved with the team with heck. Well, we'll even let you in on a little secret. Here's big secret. Um, me and my dad started volunteering with RSL, being part of their field production crew, back in 2005. Dad's still doing it, but on the pro side. So
Mhm.
dad is with the referees. Um, that's 20 years that well, next season is going to be 19 seasons, I guess.
Yeah.
But but we've been involved with this club for so long. Um, and seeing people join the club day by day is exciting.
Mhm.
But we need you older people to
We
get
need we
fired up.
we need more. Like, yes, I see that there's love for other teams, the Jazz, the Utes, the Cougars, all these things, but it can't stop there. We need RSL all the time. Just get passionate, get loud, and bring that same energy that you bring for other games to here.
Yeah, well, I need you guys to be like TV warriors from home. I need you to see it that at the field. I I
All the
guess
time. All the time.
I guess I get bugged by people sitting in their seats just clapping for good plays. No, I need you to like get up off your seat like yeah.
We need
I don't
people like we need people like Justin.
Justin, Justin. Shout out to Justin.
Shout
Um,
out to J Dog.
J Dog. Anyways, enough of the fan rant. We really appreciate I don't know if I should be saying this, but the team I think really appreciates all the fans that
Yeah,
show up.
yeah. As we're on this note, I just want a big thanks to all the supporters, all the that that I met this season at tailgates, at watch parties. You guys were awesome. You guys were really supportive. You guys were super friendly, super nice, and I really appreciate that. That you guys are awesome. So
Well, I guess as another emphasis, a huge thanks.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone for this past season. I think this Friday we turned 6 months old as a podcast, by the way. And it's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey. We've learned a lot doing all this, but we really appreciate the relationships that we've been able to get by doing this. New friends, new people to talk soccer to. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you know who you are, especially the ones that we've met in person. But we really appreciate the support, and we hope to keep growing, and hopefully we have more people listening to our opinions and to comment. I mean, to interact with us. We're pretty down to earth, and we're pretty accepting of mostly any opinions, except for if you like Casey.
Spot on, spot on. But before we finish, let's get to our end of season awards.
You're right. I was like, do you know what was funny? I was like, I can't remember. There's one more thing. I can't remember what it was. But anyways,
I got you. I got you.
take it away.
So we got MVP, most improved defender of the year, save of the year, and goal of the year. I think those are my our five categories.
All right,
So,
let's do it.
so my MVP for this season is drumroll please,
Brrrr.
Savarino.
Hmm.
He definitely he impressed me by leading the team in goals this season. So very nicely done because as you know, last season we had a different goal scorer. We don't speak of his name. He went to Vancouver and then he's gone. But Savarino, my MVP for this season, my most improved. It's gonna.
Wait. I want to do my MVP.
Oh, oh,
We're gonna do one each.
okay. Your
Um,
MVP.
my MVP is Pablo Ruiz. Even though he missed the last 2.5 months of the season, the impact that he had from we'll say April, beginning of April to August was absolutely humongous.
Hmm.
And let's just say without him during the whole season, I don't think we would have been able to make it to the playoffs. I think there would have been a lot of struggle. We would have found a way, but Pablo Ruiz is vital. In fact, Lawfulson said he's probably one of the most creative passers I've ever seen in my life.
I don't doubt it. He was a magician in the midfield, best left foot on the team by far.
Yeah, that's debatable.
So that leads us into most improved. Now, most improved, you cannot win this award if you're a new player. So,
What do you mean? What do you mean by new player?
so Chicho can't win this. Vera can't win this. Gomez can't win this.
Why not?
So you're saying that just a player like a brand new player can win most improved?
Well, yeah, because if they played at the beginning of the year and they sucked, and then they played at the end of the year and they're good, that
Okay,
not an improvement?
okay then if that's
Well, give me your most improved. Whatever your criteria was,
okay.
who's your most improved?
My most improved is Oviedo. Reason being, if we look at last year's stats to this year's stats, he has a lot more assists, a lot more games played, and he just impressed me. It was during I can't remember when it was he finally got that starting spot in that left back. That's when he just flipped the switch and he impressed me a lot.
All right, I can understand that. That's a really good one. Um, and it was about end of August, beginning of September is when he finally got the starting spot for sure. So My most improved, I was gonna say Vera because of what he said about being moved from left back to center back.
Hmm.
But I think my most improved player is gonna be Emeka and Nelly.
That he's been huge, especially for being a rookie. Huge, huge that he's done this season.
I mean, he went from college to basically starting a ton of games at right back.
Yeah.
And and that's not easy to do. So most improved definitely for me and Nelly.
That leads into defender of the year. I think this is an easy one. Vera for me. Vera has been, yes, he had his moments where, because I think he almost led the entire league in yellow cards and fouls, but he was a junkyard dog. He could finish on set pieces, and he was just a commander on our back line. So very well done for him.
I'll agree. Vera for Defender of the Year. He also said that in his exit interview that his next year improvement will be his yellow cards. Just so you know, he literally said that.
Yeah, he needs to work on that. That was not a good stat to hold.
Oh, shoot.
So I can't remember saves that very well. So maybe we'll
I have one save in mind.
okay. You have one save. Okay, what's your save of the year?
It was McMath's save in the Colorado game, the foot save.
Oh,
And it's only save of the year for me because it saved us from going any farther down on the standings.
that's true. That's true. There was also another. There's a couple of saves. I believe it was McMath against Colorado in Colorado. He had like a tip save over the bar. There was one where it was Beavers in Austin. There was a good save there. So a lot of good saves from Beavers and McMath this season. So kudos to them. So that leads into the most important one of all, goal of the year.
This is going to be a debate.
Ooh, okay, here we go. My goal of the year, it's got to be Vera against KC. Hands down, best
Bro.
goal of the season. Yes, we were down at that point three. We were down 3-0 at that
Mm-hmm.
point,
Three
and just
nothing.
Vera looked like he broke the net with the power on that shot.
Holy crap. Me and you were up in the press box
Hmm.
and oh my gosh, that was legit.
The
Um,
power and speed on that shot, I've never seen something like that out of a center back.
I mean, I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of goals. Just that one was a really, really good goal.
It was
And
beauty.
and for me, um, I'd have to agree. That was gonna be my goal of the year too. I thought you were
I'm
gonna go the
surprised. I thought you were gonna go Pablo.
yeah, no, that one was just the rocket on it. That was like better than like eating moist chocolate cake.
My runner up was there were some tough ones. That a couple of good runner ups. There was a good Sava where he against New York Red Bulls where he's at the top of the box and he curls it in. My other runner up was in Leagues Cup against Seattle where it was the Pablo Ruiz left footed assist to Chicho. Chicho gets it, cuts in the box, and then cuts out, shoots at top of the box over Stephen Fry.
Hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't have counted that one too much. I probably would have done any of the free kick ones. Um, Not the Vera one. That was a weird one. Um, Pablo Ruiz at the beginning of the season.
That's
Uh,
right. I forgot
Um,
about that one.
Stava scoring in against Houston. That was
Yep.
a good one. So there's a lot of good goals, but man, that Vera one is the one that stuck to me.
Yeah, so many goals, so many good memories to take away from this season, and you guys are all to thank for us for season number one, and we're so happy we were able to. You guys are able to listen and be a part of us. And if you guys aren't already, make sure you guys head to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and catch us there at the RSL Bros, and head catch us as well as on Apple and Spotify on the go.
Yeah. We do have off-season plans, as in like we're gonna be here still. We
Yeah,
might
RSL may be over. There's no playoffs, but we'll be here every so often.
we'll be here every week at least.
Every week?
Um,
Okay.
they might be shorter episodes just because I mean we don't want to bore you guys with just random talking unless we do get in some pretty heated debates, which we do.
Hey,
But
maybe we'll have Sarah more often.
I mean, who knows? But we do have plans. There are plans in the off season. So we're not going anywhere. So keep looking forward to us because we're gonna be here, whether it's RSL or not. We're still gonna be. Well, I don't know if I'll be wearing RSL gear every time, but we're gonna talk soccer because we love soccer.
Yeah, we will be here every week. We will be breaking down MLS playoffs, other soccer games, but catch us next time, guys. We love you. We appreciate you guys. Take care.
Ciao!